In this episode, we'll be diving deeper into the whole SendAI ecosystem, the whole Solana AI Hackathon, and the whole scenario of AI agents on Solana. So, hey Yash, how you doing?
All good.
Awesome, awesome, great. So, firstly, would like to know what inspired you to create this Solana AI Hackathon? Like, how did you guys initially got started?
Sure. So essentially, like this was just after Solana Consumer Day, an event like which we also conducted in DEF CON Thailand. So after the event, like we were wondering what to do next, and Solana Consumer Day was a huge success, and we got a lot of confidence that we don't need like support of any particular organizations like Solana Foundation, and we can do a lot of things as an ecosystem of its own. And that time, AI agent was a very popular meta, and I was also like very amazed by the whole AI agent meta, and I believe that like it can become big and like it would be a very good thing to do something in this meta. But one thing I noticed here was that base was winning this meta. Like most of the AI
Correct.
agents were on
Yeah.
base, despite like all the tokens being on Solana. All the good AI agents were on base at that time. I was like, how can Solana win the race and not end up like losing this race? Because like this would be a big meta, and once a chain like starts winning one meta, it ends up like winning that meta. Same happened for even meme coins as well, and same happened for NFTs and Ethereum as well. So it was
Okay.
very clear that like whosoever takes the lead wins the meta. So I talked to Solana Foundation, and they weren't like very enthusiastic about it. So I thought like, what can I do as an individual? So I thought like, let's do a AI hackathon where we encourage more and more builders, because hackathons are the best way to encourage more projects to build on tap. And once you have like good enough prize money, etc., most of these early stage projects will start building on this hackathon and so on. So I did one thing that I just went on and released on Twitter. It was just a
Okay.
teaser that like announcing Solana AI hackathon, and we didn't have zero. We have zero prize money, and we didn't have any
Yeah.
treasury of anything of sorts. But we announced $100K in prizes. So the idea was that like if we announce $100K in prizes, people would be excited about it, and more people will come to us and be part of it. And it basically will tell that like, it's a good scale hackathon, not a normal hackathon. So I just took the retweet and quote tweet from Solana main handle, and which essentially like gave us that credibility. And after like I got like all the sponsors coming in, and like yeah, again like it was like basically we raised from 30 plus sponsors, and everyone
Okay.
contributed. Like the median sponsorship amount was $5K. We ended up raising $280K, where we was supposed to raise $100K. So yeah, like and then all the ecosystem came to support us, and that's how this hackathon was born.
Got it, got it. Because like I was recently watching your episode on Super Team India with Paruk, and there you told that you randomly quoted this figure of 100K, and at that time you had zero comments. So that's very interesting, and the belief on the whole ecosystem is very strong because this requires a very good belief on the whole ecosystem. And like next thing, as you guys launched the Solana AI Hackathon, so simultaneously you were also working on the agent kit. So would love to know more about that also. Like what is it all around and what all can be done with it? Yeah.
Yeah, so like when we were planning this hackathon, we wanted to also create sort of a starter repo of sorts where people can like build and integrate agents easily. And there was
Yeah.
already like frameworks like Eliza which were getting popular that time. So that time
Correct.
Eliza like started gaining popularity, as that like they are getting lot of stars and so on. So we thought that there's one thing missing on Solana is that there's no Solana agent kit of sorts. Whereas Coinbase had developed the agent kit for, but they were just on Base, they weren't on Solana. So it was Base
Okay.
exclusive, and obviously like Coinbase has a bias towards Base, and that's
Correct.
how it was just Base exclusive. So I thought like there's an opportunity here where we can build like just a small starter repo, and we like give it to all the hackathon participants, which helps them to build this faster. And we thought like it would be just a small experimental MVP version with two or three integrations only. So we started building this, and this was like on the sidelines. And we first built this kit in 2 or 3 days as a weekend project, but we didn't release that. And that was a good thing that like we didn't release, because if we had released that time, like it would have been a very small scale project. But
Correct.
we kept it for a while. For the 2 3 weeks, we forgot about Agent Kit. But then, like
Yeah.
when the hackathon started, I figured out that like we can at least we can outsource all the Agent Kit work to different protocols. So I went to all the protocols like Orca, Meteora, Radium, Light Protocol, and so on, and told them,
Yeah.
why don't you yourself integrate into Agent Kit? We'll make it a very big launch, and this will be like used by all AI agent developers and so on. So everyone believed
Correct.
in us again, and then they integrated all of these things in just 2 or 3 days. Like
Oh.
their engineers prioritized this one, and that was the beauty of again the Solana ecosystem, that everyone like
Mm.
loved supporting any ecosystem initiative. So everyone supported us, and they integrated very quickly in the next 3 4 days. And we released
Yeah.
this just like 2 or 3 days before the Solana AI hackathon. And since
Okay.
we already had more than 13 14 integrations, and you could do like 25 plus actions using Solana Agent Kit, everyone was very much amazed by this release, that okay, like how did they come up with this, and like how did they end up like releasing thing, and everyone was quote tweeting, retweeting, and that's how like essentially like all the Solana founders, everyone quote tweeted, retweeted, and that became like a very banger launch. And on the like Solana Agent Kit is simply basically allowing any agents to perform any access on chain, and on chain like
Correct.
we mean on Solana. So essentially like we aim to integrate at least 50 protocols by the end of this month, and we are already
Okay.
well on track with like 24 25 protocols, and like there are a lot of like upcoming integrations as well. And at the end of the day, our plan is that all major Solana protocols should be integrated here. And one good thing here happening is that like despite like it's being agent specific, and we have a lot of AI integrations as well, like we have Crew AI, we have Versal integrations, we have LangChain, OpenAI, and all these integrations as well. But we also but if you exclude all the AI integration, it's also a very good Solana starter kit where like anyone can integrate any Solana protocols very easily using this kit. So we might in the future
Okay.
also like fork this repo and make it a Solana on-chain kit where any new developer who is coming to Solana ecosystem can access all this protocol in a single SDK. So that's also a very powerful thing that we have been thinking of. But currently the focus is on like agent developers and making sure that the agent developer journey is very smooth.
Great, great, great. Awesome. And I think definitely this agent kit will be very helpful for people building AI applications on Solana. So we also saw that you guys received like a massive number of 400 submissions for the hackathon within like just 10-15 days. So definitely you would also have gone through all the submissions and all. So if you could share like personally, what are your few top picks or the projects which you personally liked among the submissions? Like,
Yeah, so to be honest, like I didn't go through the submissions. Obviously, like I was very busy with all the hackathon ops and all the SendAI and also SendCoin ops. So like yeah, I didn't went through the submissions, and I don't have any favorites as such as well. And the
okay,
results will be out in like few days, or maybe like by the time this podcast go, it might have been already out. So yeah, like I think like that's all. And like all the judging is also very independent. So they are
correct.
all the judges are publicly disclosed in the website, and everyone has been given a judging sheet, and all this judging scores and everything would be accumulated and then weighted average and produce the results. So Sender doesn't have any say as such for the results. It's all
Okay,
these judges who are like giving all this. So we wanted to make the whole process very transparent and decentralized, and
okay.
that's why like we went this approach where we aren't like going through the submissions, so we aren't having any bias, but it's all the judges who are judging
Got it.
and like producing the results. So that, like it's purely an ecosystem effort, which we've always wanted this
Got it.
hackathon to
Got it.
be.
Like, got it. I can completely understand that. Like, definitely, it is all upon the judges and the teams independently. Like, definitely. So then, also, if you could share, like on what basis will these projects will be evaluated? Like on the use cases or on UI or the product? Like, what do you think specifically judges will look into? Like, what your take on it?
Yeah, so we have a set framework for it. Like one is obviously on the product side, like how good is the demo or how good is the product's UI and so on. So one is all entirely on the product side. Second is on the business viability. At the end of the day, we
Okay.
want more and more startups to come out of hackathon and not people who have just like built something for the sake of it. So how
Yeah.
feasible that business is. So that's one thing. Then third is obviously team. Like team matters a lot. If they are docs developers and well-reputed developers, then they would be given a preference because there's higher chances of the success. And the fourth one would also be like how agentic they are. So if let's say some agents are less agentic and some agents are more agentic, like that also means like how autonomous they are. So that would be like the fourth criteria, and then the fifth one is on the Solana integrations, like how deeply you have integrated Solana. Like because
Correct.
there are a lot of AI agent projects which were on base and they just like came for the hackathon for the sake of
Yeah.
it. We don't want to prioritize them, and we want to prioritize someone who is like natively deeply integrated into Solana and has good Solana integration. So these are the five factors we sent to judges as well, and they all evaluated based on these five different factors.
Got it, definitely. So, like, as we are right now talking about the submissions and evaluations, so I also recently read your article which you wrote about Solana AI hackathons and token launches. So, like,
Yeah.
what is the whole article about? If you could share it in short, like, uh, about the thing.
Yeah, so when we started this hackathon, we obviously knew that there would be a lot of token launches because like AI agents is like one of the first meta in the last few years that which didn't have any VC funding raising or anything, but everything started with like AI agents starting as meme coins, and now like all the serious projects are also launching on Pump.fun and raising funds via that, and that's completely
Correct.
fine. We also wanted to encourage everyone to launch tokens and raise funds via that. But during the course of hackathon, which we saw was like there were like few projects which they launched token and they were like 40-50 million dollars, and all the
Oh,
other
okay.
hackathon projects which like started like building in the hackathon itself and which didn't have like any future plans as well. Like they were just building for the hackathon and they were building it for fun, but they ended up like launching token just because when we released the AI, like all the project list of all the AI hackathon projects, and we did this because we wanted to make sure that everything is very transparent. We wanted to give this project visibility on like what are different projects which participated and so on. So that way, all these regions also got access to all this project list. And they were
Hmm.
also in the Telegram group who were looking, waiting for projects to be released because everyone knows that everyone would be launching on Pump.fun. And if they catch them early, they can get 50x, 100x returns. So everyone was
Correct.
looking and looking at this project. And whenever a hackathon project used to launch a token, it used to get sniped at 30-40 million dollars. And
Okay.
other builders who didn't launch a token and you wanted to build it for a longer term, they were in existential crisis on like what are we even doing? Everyone is getting rich by launching on these tokens, but in reality, these builders weren't getting rich. They were getting rich on paper. They can't even sell the tokens because everyone would be like dev is selling, dev is selling. So they have to hold these tokens. And most of these developers were holding 2 or 3% tokens only. So that way,
Okay.
they don't. They, if the token dumps, they won't even have incentive to keep building because they don't hold enough tokens. So
Got it.
that's how like everyone like is launching were launching token in with a just like very fast mode and just doing for like that quick dopamine hit. And that's why
Got
like
it.
basically I voiced out that article that this is not the right thing to do. Obviously, like launching token for fundraising is good, but you can't just do it for the sake of it. Token is a liability where you will have to keep maintaining it for a longer term, and you can't just like leave the token after 15 days. It's not like a quick pump and dump thing. And if you end up doing that, like you will end up like basically ruining yourself as well because you would be as a builder start thinking about like how can I make an announcement or make anything which basically pumps my token. And yeah, so that's why like the whole degens and cabals and whales entered the hackathon, and obviously like
Okay.
we kept everything token and everything. Like there was strictly no contract addresses allowed in the hackathon group, and even in our website, etc., like there was no contract addresses displayed anywhere. Even we didn't
Yeah.
share any contract address or token address with judges as well. So we were very strict on this. But yeah, like this was an unintended consequences, and it was like in a way good as well that like it gave so many projects so much capital and fundraising. Like for example, more than $600 million was the hackathon market cap at one time.
Oh,
So it's good also like essentially these
yeah.
projects are now serious because they have launched a token, but it has some cons as well. So it's like basically just voicing out the cons of this trend. So like everyone is not just blinded by the pros of it.
Got it. Got it. Definitely, and that's definitely correct. Also, like, right now we see that a lot of agents are getting launched on different chains and all. And we can also see simultaneously too many token launches, listings, exchanges, and all these things. So, what do you think? Like, what is your take on the current scenario of DAI, or the whole AI agent scenario? Till how time, like, till what duration will it continue? Or like, what will it be in future?
Yeah, so I think like we can already. So I also like wrote an post yesterday where I
Okay.
also voiced out like basically like what are the different things that we need to improve as an industry and like why I feel that like most of the projects right now which are there in the market will fail. And the primary reason being that tokenomics isn't that healthy for the team or the overall treasury, and you don't hold enough tokens and so on. So I think like
Okay.
currently, and we have already started seeing a good amount of correction. Most of this AI projects, even the top blue chip ones are down 3x, 4x from their all-time highs. So
Yeah.
yeah, like I think like we will see like lot of corrections before we actually like see a lot of genuine projects also coming to the sector. So I think it's barely just 3 months old. Like it all started in October only. So we are still in wave one of AI agents. I believe that in the next 1 or 2 months or 3 months, we'll start with the wave two of the AI agents. And then
Yeah.
also like we might then end up doing another hackathon when the wave two starts. But for wave one, we are done. And I think like we are like kind of in the local top of wave one. And yeah, so I think like we will see like a lot of different narratives. Like DeFi is the one of the narratives. In
Yeah.
future, like we'll see like something on the agentic NFTs or something on agents cross deepen. So we'll see like a lot of different permutation and combination of agents cross X and Y. So I think
Got it.
we'll see like a lot of narratives going here and there. But at the end of the day, I feel that like by the end of this year, this sector is definitely going to $100 billion. But we'll see like a lot of crash happening where all the noise and fraud would be wiped out, and that's how we'll grow sustainably to $100 billion. It's not like up only thing; it's basically up and down. Eventually, we end up at $100 billion plus
Got it. Got
industry.
it. Got it. Yeah, yeah. Thanks. So thanks, Yash, for taking your time coming on to this podcast and sharing a lot of insights and all. So just one last question before concluding the podcast. Like we know that Send ecosystem is like pretty big right now. You guys also have like your own community token on Solana. Then you have Send Arcade, Send AI and all. So what more advancements can we get to see in future from the Send ecosystem, like for the whole community? Like, yeah,
Yeah, so right now the focus is like just to make sure SendAI and SendAI becomes a very big brand of its own. And
yeah,
once we already got a playbook from SendAI on how to bootstrap a brand from grounds up. And so in future it would be like, let's say if there's a very promising team who wants to build with us, so we can onboard them to the Send ecosystem and also like make sure that they are aligned economically with us as well. And we can like keep introducing brands, but we are currently very cautious about like introducing a new Send brand, because the last Send brand was SendAI, which like has been like really good, and the focus is currently like growing the SendAI as we can. So let's say if we have to
got it.
introduce new AI agents, etc., that would be like under a separate brand of Send and so on. So in future it can be like Send Venture, Send DeSci, or like any new cooler narratives. So Send will always focus on the newest cooler narratives and keep building different brands. And at the end of the day, Send is an ecosystem of lot of brands, and everything is connected by one token, which is Send token, and everything will have Send branding and will have association with Send. So that's how we are envisioning. Whereas like it's like kind of a Send is a token for the entire ecosystem of brands.
Got it. Just one last very short question. Like, I know that you are a very active contributor in the Solana ecosystem, let it be like RWA, AI, or anything. So, like, personally, I would like to ask, like, will Send AI be still aligned with Solana in future also, or you guys may explore other ecosystems parallelly as well? Like,
Yeah, so
yeah,
it would be like obviously Solana first, obviously, for
yeah,
anything Send. Even Send Arcade is Solana first, but we also deployed on Eclipse as well. And on Eclipse, Send Arcade has done more than 30,000 transactions, and they have generated huge revenues from Eclipse as well.
yeah,
So obviously, like we aren't like something that we okay, like we'll just be on Solana or anything. We can expand to other chains as well, but in the short term, Solana is our strategic focus, and we'll always be Solana first. Whatever happens, will be Solana first, and then second chains can be other chains. But yeah, it's Solana first, and then like keep expanding to other ecosystems wherever we see a strategic fit. For example, Send Arcade Eclipse was a strategic fit.
yeah,
So we deployed on Eclipse as well, so that like we get all the users of Eclipse and we become one of the top gaming apps on Eclipse. So maybe like in future you can expand to other chains like Monad and so on as well. But it would be always be a strategic fit, than not just like we expand just for the sake of expanding, because Solana in itself is a huge market, and we are here to
yeah,
grow Solana, not even like basically capture Solana, but grow Solana. Like even for Solana AI, we are growing Solana AI. So yeah, like our
got it,
job is to grow Solana and then like expand to other chains.
got it, got it. Thanks, yes, that was it for today.